Okay. Hey guys! So this week we're going to be making a soy sauce bottle, which I'm super excited for because it's really easy and I thought it was a really cute kind of like warm-up model to kind of get into. So let's go ahead and get started. Open up a new scene if you haven't already, and then we're gonna insert in an image. So you can go into the front view and then do view, image plane, import image. And then I just literally found a reference of a soy sauce bottle, but you guys can choose to use whatever you think is the best. So you can look up a drawing of one, or you can just find one like I did. All right, move it to the ground and click on looking through camera in the display. And then let's go ahead and make a cylinder and push that to the ground by doing Y to 1. Next, we're going to be moving up the vertices to the top of the glass. So this will just be the glass bottle, if that makes sense. And then we'll make the cap afterwards, okay? So we're gonna just go ahead, go into wireframe mode, and then just add a ton of multi-cuts. So get that multi-cut tool and just start using control middle click and add a ton of just even halfway cuts for us to manipulate. All right, so next thing you can do is just press W and then Q so that you can click things. And then we're gonna be scaling some of these up and some of them down. So I'll select these top 2 rows, click R, hold control, and scale these guys in because this part's actually a bit smaller. I'm gonna scale these guys up just a smidge. And then you can scale all of these guys on the bottom up. So it's like that. And then just continue with each row until it is perfectly even, just like we've done with our other followings of a silhouette. Hopefully you guys are familiar with this procedure before. I feel like I use it a lot, so. Okay, sweet. And then as for the bottom, I think I'm gonna just press it up to be maybe like around there. And then eventually what we'll do is like round off that bottom. For now, if you go back into the solid geometry mode and then click 3, you'll see that it'll round out a little bit, but we'll exaggerate it a bit more later. All right, so from my understanding of soy sauce bottles, they have like these rings on the top, kind of like where you would twist a cap. So get your multi-cut tool again, and then do like maybe that many multi-cuts. That should be good, because then we'll take these 2 and extrude them. All right, and then do Q, click these faces, and then you want to extrude them, so Command E, and then raise that thickness up, hold Control when you do it so you go by a small increment. And then you can go into perspective mode and kind of see how big it's actually gonna be. Let's see. If you press 3, kind of see how it'll round out. I think that's good. You could probably just do 0.1 and be safe. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is hollow out that soy sauce bottle because they are hollow. So by doing that, you want to go into face mode, select these top faces by clicking Q and then holding tab and delete them. Now what we're going to do is go into object mode. Oh, hold on. I deleted too many faces because I was selecting those guys. So we're going to delete those top faces. Click Q, go into face mode, hold tab and select those guys and delete them. Then go into object mode, do Command E. And then I think I'm going to end up thickening in and then reversing my mesh. So let's thicken in like 0.15 and then go into object mode, do mesh display reverse. All right, looking good. So I think at this step, what I want to go ahead and do is just make the lid. So go back into front view. I'm going to hide this guy by doing Control H. And then let's make a new cylinder, and then we'll push it up here. And then we're going to be taking these top vertices. Let's move them down to be at the top of the lid. And then I think what's probably best is that we just add a multi-cut right here where the top of the lid kind of starts peeking out. And then we can add some other multi-cuts as needed. But I think that's really just the main one. select these top two, click R, and then hold Control and scale those guys out. We're gonna need to add another ring of these guys. So go ahead and get the multi-cut tool again, and then add in a multi-cut like right under it. And then you wanna go ahead and go into vertex mode, click Q, select one, and then hold Shift and double click another to select the whole edge loop. And then you can click R, hold Control and scale this guy in so that it comes to more of a point, and then press W and just push it up. You don't want it to go completely in, but we do want it to come to a bit sharper of a point, if that makes sense. I'm also gonna select this row and scale them in just a little bit because it seems like the soy sauce isn't at like a complete 90-degree angle on this side. All right, I think that is looking pretty good. I think I'm gonna add a multi-cut right in the middle here just to kind of round it out a little bit. And then you can select that and just press R and kind of round it like that. I'm gonna make this one a little bit bigger as well. And then just to be safe, let's go ahead and add some other multi-cuts to make our geometry even. So let's just add a couple right there using Control, middle click. Let's go ahead and go back into perspective view. So we're gonna, you know how a soy sauce bottle has like a little hole on the side? First, what we need to do before we make that, we need to bevel all these edges so that everything is all like beautiful. But before we do any beveling, we need to make our cap hollow because the lid is hollow. So let's go ahead and delete those faces, go into object mode, Command E or Control E, and then raise that thickness up to, let's say, 0.15, and then we're going to be beveling these edges, okay? So you can just select all of those harsh 90-degree edges, and then Control B is bevel. Give it 2 segments, pretty small fraction, so it gets a bit tighter. Yeah, it looks good. All right, so go ahead and select 2 faces. And then what I want you to do is go into wireframe mode and then find the faces that are on the opposite side, but on the inside of the mesh. It's a little odd. So see how I've got a couple right here that match up with the outside? You want to go ahead and select those guys, and then you're going to end up deleting them. The plan is that you're going to offset the outside squares and they're going to go through that hole. It'll make a little bit more sense when I actually do it. I know it's a little confusing right now. All right, so you can see we have a little hole in our mesh right there. And then you want to go a perfect 180 degrees for the other one. So this is the one that we deleted. So you want to go 180 degrees across from that one. So we're in this plane right here. And the next thing you want to do is go ahead and delete those 2 interfaces. So it looks like we should have those 2. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is take those outer 2 faces, so that guy, and then should be 2 over here. So those guys, do extrude, and then you're going to offset in, and then I think what I want to do is go into wireframe mode and try and match up my inside hole as much as possible. I think doing a 0.1 fraction should be good. All right, and then next thing that I just want to do is delete that weird inner edge right here. So that guy, and then the one on the other side as well, that guy. And then next thing we're going to be doing is selecting those big faces, and then we'll extrude and then offset them we'll extrude and then push them into the mesh. So by doing like local, translate Z to like maybe not too far. Let's see how far my wireframe goes out. Maybe like 0.3 should be good. And then you can actually press W and push them down so that they don't like go into the mesh or anything. All right, let's look how the inside is looking. Yeah, it should look like that. Okay, good. And then let's click R. And then I think I'll just go ahead and delete them so you have like a little hole there. And then I think what I'm going to try and do is fill this hole. So select, double click that edge, do edit mesh, do mesh, fill hole, and then extrude. Press W, bring it out towards us. All right, and then when you press 3, it's gonna round out a bit on that inside. And then you can just delete the weird faces that pop up. All right, so you don't really need to worry about the weird parts that make up the mesh, like right here and things. If it's something that bugs you, you can go through and like attempt to fix that by like filling the holes or just like moving edge loops and things like that. I don't really feel need to bother with it that much because I'm not going to be using it for like a crazy fancy model. But if you are, I would advise you to, you know, maybe try and push the mesh out a little bit more, or just something similar. So, all right, so that one's already beveled and everything. So really the only thing we need to do is unhide this by doing Shift H, and then you need to bevel all of our lines. So you can hide the lid, do edge mode, and then select all your edges. There's a lot in this area in particular, so make sure you get all of those guys, especially these under ones. All right, that should be good for the top. So you can just bevel those guys. Do 2 segments. I'm gonna make my fraction probably a smidge bigger because I want them to round out. And then don't forget to bevel this bottom edge. What I also think would be really cool is if we go through and round out that bottom. So first just bevel it, do 2 segments, small fraction, probably like that. And then let's select those faces. And then you'll need to select those inner faces as well. So just hold tab and do that so you get all of those guys. And then you can go into a wireframe mode and then press W and just move them up into the mesh so you can see them moving a bit. All right, let's see how that looks in this mode. And then let's press 3 to see how it rounds out. Nice. And then you can bevel that inside edge right here just to make it a bit more smooth. Do 2 segments. And then I'm gonna do a pretty big fraction. There we go. All right, so if you're happy with how that's looking, then great. I'm gonna compare it to my reference really quick to just make sure that it looks accurate. I think it looks pretty good. You can Shift H to unhide that lid, and then you can view them both. I think most likely the lid is too big at this moment. If you remember correctly, we scaled it up. So what you'll want to do is just go into wireframe mode and then click R, and then you can scale it down until it fits, you know, whatever size you want. And then click W and just push it down a little bit to rest a little bit more on the lid, to rest a little bit more on the bottle. But yeah, that's a cute little soy sauce bottle. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Try and use these easy ones as like nice tutorials just to get yourself like used to the program and the controls. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment below and let me know what you guys want me to try modeling next. I've got some ideas, but soon I'm going to be transferring into doing speed texturing, or maybe I'll try texturing tutorials in Substance Painter. We'll see how it goes. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys!